Good afternoon to everyone worldwide. My name is Bookman. This is a slogan that I took from one of our ancestors that start the Asian Revolution. His name was Jean Francois Boissou. He was a shaman, a spiritual man that will receive message from the high dimension with Cecil Fatima that were a opener to begin our Asian revolutions that lead from 1804 to 1803 to 1804. And our ancestors take over. And I'm not talking about the history of the revolution right now because this short video it is for a ancestor altar. That's what I'm going to be talking about. But I just wanna give in honor to that powerful elder that in a high dimension that's looking out for us here in the earth, especially Haiti. The name is IT, but the English speaking people they knew is Haiti. It's not Haiti. It's IT that going to a chaos right now due to our natural resources. The foreign international government they plan to genocide our people. That way they can steal in everything we have under the ground. Anyway, I'm going to talk about our ancestor for some of you. I know some European they show respect to the ancestors. They usually sometimes they will go to the cemetery. They bought plant and flowers, but not everybody does it, especially with the Christians. Uh, Background because we've been lied to and this Bible they create to control us. They said let the dead celebrate the dead. So technically they separate us from our ancestor. Sadly, that's what happened to most of the Aboriginal indigenous people, the people that the world calling of people of color. So that being told, that being brainwashed to our people, they stay away, they disconnect with the ancestor. They call the ancestor devil. That's what been planned from a group of scholar, a group of criminal that they have father, they have mother themselves. They respect the mother and the father after death, but they plan in this Bible, they create this Bible just to put a to put the original people upside down, confused, while living here in the planet. Because we are a people that connect with nature, that connect with the universe, that connect with the law of Ma'at, the law of the Mother Gaia, the sun star. So when you come to our ancestor, it is our parents, her DNA is very deep. It's not something anyone should play with. Our ancestor, even not all of them are conscious. Not all of them were conscious when they reincarnate here in the planet. Some of them rebirth here in a low conscious parents. Some of them rebirth here. Sometimes it's just out of nowhere, even if the mother or the father wasn't prepared to conceive that child. Some of them it's just one night stand and they end up pregnant. So that baby is not conscious both from the mother and the father. They wasn't prepared mentally, spiritually, to for the body to receive a child that were going to be reborn here and going as an adult. Especially when we, our ancestor, when we give birth to a child, it is from our ancient ancestor that return. Okay, for some of you that don't know, technically, When he come to our ancestor or indigenous in Alcabulan, modern name Africa, we call it Egungun. Um, Us here, we just call it in Haiti, we call it ancestors. That's what we call it. Sadly, people in Haiti, they also disconnect deeply with the spirituality, the original, what our ancestor was practicing nature before the so-called Christopher Columbus. So they also disconnect with the ancestor. Now, if you ask the Asian people if they have a table set up for the ancestor, they will look at you if you're crazy. So that's another reason you see Haiti and Asian people, they are confused all over the world. They don't know how to love themselves, and they don't know how to love the land that they were born to, which is a spiritual land. All that play a big role on that. Ancestor wise, you must some of us don't we can know, we're not going to be able to know all of our ancestors by in that physical flesh, because we don't live enough long, we don't live long enough in the physical envelope to know all of our ancestors. No, we don't. Some of us don't even know our grandparents. Like myself, I never met my grandparents from my father's side and my from my father's side, and also my father. My father was murdered when I was very young. I never know how he looked like, except I was lucky enough. We my they they were living in the city, so they were taking picture during holidays. That's the only way I knew my dad. Other than that, I will never know how my father looked like. So some of our ancestors during slavery, they were tortured, some of them was killed, forced them to accept religious belief. And the saint, especially the Catholic, now you have Muslim, all of the Protestant, all of the above. If that generation, they all born in the Christian community, and either or. So they were going to church, they were reading the Bible, they were going to the choir, and whatever they were doing in that church. So if that ancestor transition on this earth, and then the last place where they celebrate his death, that was in the church. So you may have to be in that altar. You may have to have a Bible there when you set up your ancestor altar. It's not that difficult, but for some reason you must know how. If you won't be able to know what type of food they like, maybe your mom, if you're lucky, you know your grandparents, because they don't live long enough to get to know them that much. And back in the day, our ancestors usually eat a little bit more organic food come from the earth. But now with the GMO that been around us for so long now, I don't know. And some of them can afford it, and to buying the organic food. Um, but even though after death, you must feed in them organic food, because especially if they are dying and in low conscious, you have to help them elevate themselves from the low conscious level, and they can rise up to move to a higher dimension. Okay, and dimension is not a place, is a conscious. Okay, it's not a place they're going to be. So table wise, when you come to your ancestor in your house, you might find a place in your house, or sometimes even a closet if you have enough room. If you don't have enough space in your house, you have to find some place. If you don't have a special room for them, you have to find some place that is not too many traffic, not like the people gonna be back and forth making noise and all the time, because they, even some of them that die in the low conscious, they're not the same anymore. So they can get interrupted, and they may be not even welcome to your house. They might even don't want to come to your house, even if you calling on them. Even if you prepare food, have planned to prepare food for them, you must also have a connection with them. For some, first you must prepare yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. and able to connect with your ancestor. You can just random here, you set up a table, you said you put in some tablecloths on it, and you just throw in the coffee there, and you don't even know how to set it up and what you got to do. And you can talk to them too before you go to sleep. Get them to know yourself, cleanse yourself, and your house must be clean. You cannot set up table for your ancestor, an altar or tribe for your ancestor, and you living in a daily house. You can't. So you must prepare for them. How you gonna welcome them? How you gonna communicate with them? And sometimes you can ask them what they want you to cook for them. I have to do another video because I have a chief book I'm reading as for to prepare the food, because I know we're not supposed to put salt in the food when we're cooking the food, but I'm gonna have to get back in that. As far as I know, tablecloth is very important to do the to set up the table to have everything pretty much organic. And you can do a tablecloth. It has to be white, or if you like some of these people from Africa, you can use in your you can use in like a cloth that color, multiple color, has a tablecloth for your to put in your little table. It doesn't have to be big where you're going to set up in your house to put the food on. But the tablecloth, if you can do 100% linen tablecloth, if you anything you have to offer to your ancestor, it has to be the five-star quality. Okay, you can not give them anything in the lower cheap stuff, dollar store, garbage you're gonna go to provide to your ancestor. Some of them are drinking. Some of them, like I said, they used to eat low vibration food. You cannot give them that food anymore. Like some especially when you come to black people, I'm gonna say it like that. Due to slavery, due to poverty, they usually eat like the intestine of the pig. They usually eat foot pig. They usually eat chicken legs. So you can't not offer that kind of junk to your ancestor anymore. If you're in a position now, you even if you're not gonna be able to do it every month, but if let's say twice a year, if you're gonna cook for them, you must be prepared, save some money, and then to prepare a beautiful, a wonderful, a five-star meal for them. Same thing with the wine. Same thing with anything you're gonna offer them. The fruit has to be organic, and water. We have to get natural water because some of the water have too much chemical in the water. You have to get a pure water, natural water for them. I'm not sure how the alcohol gonna be natural, but you know what I mean. But any other food, if you can bake their own bread, they love coffee, get a coffee with high quality. If you don't want to put honey, also you can make tea for them. And what else? You make if you know the favorite meal, what they used to eat, what they used to like, you can do that to prepare the meal that you know they like. But even they were eating a low vibration food, but you buying the better fish like good salmon, rice and beans, organic, any whatever culture you are born to, whatever you think they like, the favorite dessert, the things that you know they like. And if you don't know, you can talk to them. They will tell you what you got to cook for them. They are in your blood. They talk to you through communication, to dream to your blood vibration. Okay. Also, some of our ancestors were transition to water. They were transition. Either they don't have both of their legs. The legs was amputated. So if they don't have both of the legs, they were in a special need ancestor. You can set up the food. You put some on the table, and you can put some above the table for some of them that not able to wish and to get their food. When you're gonna cook for them, you also have to sit down and communicate with them. You have to fellowship with them. You gotta sit at the table and eat with them and communicate with them. You talk to them when you live in. You talk to them when you come home. You say hi, hi grandpa, hi grandmother, hi mother, hi father. Even your own children after they transition, even if they are transition at 6 months, 1 year, they become your ancestor because you are your ancestor. Okay. So, and another thing, I hope I remember everything what I was gonna tell you guys. I don't want to do the video like in 30 minutes because it's too much slice I have to put in. Um, when it comes to spirituality, like Asian people, and like I said, they're all Christian, they're confused, they're lost. But like myself, I was born and so-called Catholic with my mother. Later on, she become Christian, and then you follow what your parents do. But when it was time for me to awake, when it was time for me to back to my consciousness, it's been almost 10 years now. I restore my conscious level back where I was supposed to be doing here, where on earth. So myself, you will not see me reading the Bible to my ancestor now because I let them know where that Bible comes from. But you have some of them are Muslims, some of them are Muslim, all of the above. So technically, you have to know what they used to like, and you're gonna communicate with them. When we find out this Bible is fake, when we find out not too long ago, Putin come out tell you that Joshua was a black man, and when all our ancestor was given a white Jesus to be worshipped with a blue eye, blonde hair, so it's so confusing for them. Even all people that here on the planet still confused with even Putin just came out saying Jesus was a black man, and I already know that long time ago. So food, quality food, just to recap, tablecloth has to be white. Only if you're somebody that like color, you can always set up your tablecloth to with different with color and tablecloth. And the table has to be in a place not where people gonna be back and forth, back and forth. And to have an ancestor table, you cannot be arguing in your house. You have to be your house to be in peace. Okay, so if you have children that argue and fighting and smoking marijuana, and oh, by the way, some of ancestors used to smoke weed, they used to smoke cigar, they drink alcohol. So you also have to put it on the table for them. Those that that used to do these things. And some of them they need help. You gotta work with them too, because some of them they used to do a lot of bad stuff in the physical one. You have to talk to them. Some of them were raping little children. Some of them was killing people. Some of them were in military. You have a lot of work you gotta do, and some of them that focusing on voodoo spirituality. You can put drum for them. You can put instrument music that they play. You're not gonna have room to put all that, but you can get in a book, get in like some little display image that have that instrument music image on it. Um, the bell. You need the bell because the bell, that's the bell you call in your ancestor with when you're about to talk to them. You got to ring the bell. It's like the short ring the bell. So they're sleeping and light. You need candles because you cannot put the food for them without candles because they have to be able to see. Remember, they don't live in the same realm with you. Okay, so they have to down themselves, download the energy to come here in that physical realm to receive the offering, the food you're gonna put for them. If you have the picture, you can put the picture in the table. If you have anything they like, you can put it for them in the table. And you won't be able to know all your ancestors. You have to call all of them nationwide and give honor respect to all of them because you're not gonna know the name, all of them name. But if you have the previous one that just passed, but give them at least 2 years to be transitioned. Don't just assume they pass away. You put the photo there. It's a long process. You gotta give them time to go through the process. Okay, so that's all. I might be forget some stuff, but I'm not gonna go back. The video is moving fast. It is critical to in flowers and plant. You got to put natural flower. You cannot put fake flowers, synthetic plant flowers in the altar. You can't. Everything is a 5-star quality. Wine, the water, the fruit, the food, the cake, everything you put for them, it has to be a 5-star quality. Okay, and if you can go to the cemetery or a place they need to be clean, you got to clean up the cemetery, put flowers for them and sit and talk to them. You cannot ignore your ancestor. Without them, you will not be here on the earth, because they talk to you to dream, they talk to you to your bone marrow, they talk to you to your blood, they communicate with you, but you must be in peace with yourself in your and your family. Is not that easy, because I tell you, my daughter, for some reason, sometimes I'm quiet, but both of them, I always have something to discuss with them. And this generation these days, you talk to them, they will not listen what you tell them, they ignore what you say, and they always want to put a fight. So technically, and find out too from your mother's side if they were in a good relationship with your father's side, if they were divorced, if they were unhappy, if they were miserable. You have to have two table, two altar, one for your ancestor. Like for me, I have two altar, one for my father's side, one for my mother's side. Okay, so it's a lot to learn. So it's simple. Communicate with your ancestors. Some of them was in the Catholic Church. They used to deal with rosemary. They used to whatever. If you find out what they used to do, but at the same time, you got to educate them. You have to let them know that church thing is a scam. You have to let them know that Christian thing is a scam. You have to let them know they've been lying to them. I know some of them was forced to accept Christianity, but now you have to let them know the truth. We in the time and of truth. We gotta let this lie, dark energy go. You have to educate your ancestor to let them know the lies is over, and that way they can move on in a high dimension with their life. Because some of our ancestors stuck here in the 3D dimension. Even Mother Gaia not in the 3D dimension anymore. Okay, so to recap, tablecloth. Table has to be naturally. It's better don't paint the table. Get some oak and build your own table if you can. You can find all that in Home Depot. And tablecloth has to be white. Only if you have a preference color, you can put there. Okay. And the food has to be quality, and you have to find a perfect corner in your house. If you don't have your own room for them, you have to find a place where there is no headache, no nose. And some of them like pet. You can buy a little toys, a dog or a cat, to put in the table for them. Whatever they used to like, bracelet, anything you think they like, you kind of calling them and having that connection with your ancestor. Okay, so without them, we riding in the shoulder. They don't want to protect us. Plus, with our spiritual angel, and we angle that when we were born here, we don't born just alone. We do have our angle and protection that from the high one that or twins frame that born here with us when we reincarnate here back on the earth. Even not all of us, all of our astral, all of our soul is not here on the earth. It's a part of us that here. But I think that's what I'm gonna say. Love and light, peace on earth, peace to our ancestors worldwide, nationwide, especially the warrior one, the one that fought to give us freedom, because mankind is still living in a barbaric age. They still argue and fighting with each other. But I give honor and peace, respect to my beloved ancestor, especially Jean Jacques Dessalines, and all of my heroes in Haiti, my Asian warrior, Aboriginal, indigenous men and women, 1804. I think that's all I'm gonna say. Love and like, share the video, subscribe if you like. If you think the video is interesting, don't hesitate to send me a comment. I'm not a YouTuber, but lately I've been putting some little bit of video for people in Creole and English. So I think this is it. Light also candle, like I think I said that before. You can not set up the table without putting line up the candles. It's better to do put the food and everything in white. Okay. um, what else? Like I said, soup. When I say in general, food, the quality. um, you can, if they like music, you can play music for them, the music you think they like, and they will tell you what they like. And what else? um the wine, warm, whatever. If you they smoke, you can popping up a cigar for them, you can blowing up a cigar smoke, because they will eat the food to you, they communicate to you. So you sit and eat with them, you sit and communicate with them, just like you go to an important meeting and a 5-star interview. So You don't just leave them there. You don't just throw in the food there and you walk away. You give it to them. They're not gonna accept it. And you don't sit and beg in your ancestors. Stop asking them for money. Stop asking them to give you a Powerball to go play, Powerball number for you to go win the lottery. That's not what they're for. They have a better job to do. They some of them, especially those that in a high dimension, they have a big responsibility. Do not begging them to give you lottery numbers. Do not begging them to be healing you. Do not begging them to do. You're supposed to take care of yourself. Asking them for money, you are there to support and heading them because they have a lot of work to do in the high dimension. I think that's all I got to say. Take care for now. Respect, honor to your ancestor always. Without them, we will not be here. Peace on earth, love. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.